Where there is love, there is no place for knowledge. If the ruler's rule is directed not to the common good of many, but to his own good, then it will be unjust and perverted. There can be no absolute evil, for it would certainly destroy itself. Speaking of God, we cannot establish what he is, but only what he is not. There is nothing in the mind that was not there before in the senses. If you give your heart to the devil, nothing will help you. A loving person moves towards what they love by changing. Every mind must understand a thing as it is, otherwise it will fall into error. Friendship can only exist between intelligent beings capable of reciprocal love, bound by joint labors in the field of life, inseparable in well-being and illness, remaining faithful to friendship at any turn of fortune. It is precisely of such that it can rightly be said that they are benevolent to each other. Faith does not teach the impossible. The strength of the Creator is measured in terms of the created. God is called incomprehensible, not because something in him is not accessible to contemplation, but because he cannot be seen by anyone to the extent that he can be seen in principle. To love someone is to wish that person well. God thinks in that special way in which every creature is likened to him. To say that God is visible through some semblance is like saying that the divine essence is not visible at all. There is nothing to be desired while remaining unknown. We can give a name to anything as long as we understand it. For the sake of the perfection of the universe, it is necessary that intelligent creatures exist. Reason surpasses feeling due to the variety of conceivable objects, because feeling deals with particular objects, and reason deals with universals. Truth is the private good of the knowing mind. But if the government is directed not to the common good of many, but to the ruler's own good, the government will be unjust and perverted. Free will is given to a person so that he himself makes a choice between good deeds, bringing him closer to God, and evil deeds, moving him away from God. A man should not regard his riches as his property, but he should treat them as common property, so that he can distribute them without hesitation to those who need help. How can real happiness come from wealth, if you have to endure suffering to acquire wealth? Loving someone is the same as wishing that person well. We must sincerely love others for their own good, not for ours. Our duty is to hate in the sinner his sin, but to love the sinner himself because he is a man capable of good. A happy man needs friends, and not in order to benefit from them, for he himself succeeds, and not in order to admire them, for he possesses the perfect delights of a virtuous life, but, in fact, in order to create good deeds for these friends. Let the thoughts contained in the books be your main capital, and the thoughts that arise in yourself be the interest on it. Who can be considered smart? Someone who strives only for an achievable goal. I often regretted what I said, but seldom regretted my silence. What you do not want to have tomorrow, discard today, and what you want to have tomorrow, get today. Rulers need wise men much more than wise men need rulers. You can't wish for something that hasn't been known before. Knowledge is such a precious thing that it is not shameful to get it from any source. The truth, covered with rhetorical figures, is useful for the exercise of thoughtful minds, and is protected from the ridicule of the wicked. The highest perfection of a thinking creature lies in finding what is the beginning of its being, since a thing is perfect as far as it reaches its beginning. The act of justice consists in doing what is due. But God owes nothing to anyone. Therefore, justice does not belong to God. Equality is measured by greatness. Knowledge is the form of the soul, and health is the form of the body. The existence of truth is self-evident. For if anyone denies the existence of truth, then he admits that truth does not exist, but if truth does not exist, then the statement truth does not exist is true. Thus, even if only any one statement is true, then truth exists. In our life, not everything visible is available for grasping or possession, since things may be unattainable either due to remoteness, or due to the weakness of our forces. Yes, and possessing them is not always a joy, either they disappoint us, or through the possession of them we desire achieve something else, and therefore the true desire remains unsatisfied. If the provisions of faith are disputed, it is not because the truths are doubtful, but because the mind is weak. There is truth in such things, in which there is no good, for example, in mathematics. It is necessary to posit some necessary essence, necessary in itself, having no external cause of its necessity, but the very constituting cause of the necessity of all others, according to the general opinion, this is God. Not everything that exists is accidental, but there must be something necessary in the world. We discover among things those for which it is possible both to be and not to be. When an unjust government is carried out by many persons, this is called democracy. The domination of the people takes place precisely when the broad masses, due to their strength and numerical superiority, suppress the rich. Then the whole people acts as one single tyrant. Good is what everyone desires. Money is a means, not an end. To turn it into an end is to destroy the soul. It will be fair if the subjects pay for what ensures their own well-being. Knowledge is such a valuable thing that it is not shameful to get it from any source. In every soul lives the attraction to happiness and meaning. Absolute evil is impossible, it would certainly destroy itself. Justice is a property of the soul, guided by which people invariably and constantly strive to repay everyone according to his right.